Audio test YouTube. Audio test YouTube.
after 12 p.m. It's 12:02. Commissioner Holzman, see you,
Hey.
and Commissioner Coleman. Great.
Good morning.
All right. All the commissioners are present, so we'll begin the agenda meeting for today, Thursday, September 5th. I would ask those who are participating on the call to please mute your phone unless you need to speak. Today there are 5 tariffs and new orders, 2 case discussions, and 1 other discussion item, which is a presentation from Spire. But first we need to approve the minutes from the August 28, 2024 agenda. Those minutes have been provided in advance. Commissioners, are there any changes or modifications to those minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting those minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? By a vote of 5-0, those minutes are approved. First tariff and order today is in file number GS-2025-0068 in the matter of an investigation into Spire, Missouri, DBA Spire, concerning a natural gas incident in Independence, Missouri. On August 28th, staff filed a motion asking the Commission to open a file regarding a natural gas incident that occurred on August 26th in Independence. Staff states that a natural gas incident occurred after a third-party excavator installing fiber optic cable by directional drilling hit a sewer and Spire's nearby 4-inch natural gas main, resulting in an explosion and house fire. Staff requested the Commission open this investigation file to receive staff's report regarding an investigation into the work being performed and events leading up to the incident, the actions of the excavator to request facility locations, and Spire's actions to timely and accurately locate its gas facilities. The order before us opens this file to facilitate staff's investigation and directs staff to file its report or status no later than December 13th. With that, I recommend we approve the order version number 1. Commissioner Coleman.
I support the order.
Commissioner Holzman.
I'm in support of the order.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
I support the order.
And Commissioner Mitchell.
I'm in support of the order.
All those in favor of approving this order, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? By a vote of 5-0, that order is approved. Second tariff and order today is in file number EC-2024-0313, Merlin Ragland Trust versus Evergy Metro. On June 26th of this year, the Commission granted Evergy's motion to dismiss and issued an order dismissing the complaint. That order was effective on July 26th. On July 24th, the complainant filed a timely application for rehearing. Section 386-500 states the Commission shall grant an application for rehearing if, in its judgment, sufficient reason therefore be made to appear. In the judgment of the Commission, the application for rehearing does not demonstrate sufficient reason to rehear the matter. Therefore, the order before us denies the application for rehearing. With that, I recommend we approve the order version number 1. Commissioner Coleman.
I support the order.
Commissioner Holzman.
I'm in support of the order.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
I support the order.
Commissioner Mitchell.
I support the order.
All those in favor of approving this order, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? By a vote of 5-0, that order is approved. Third tariff and order today is in file number GC-2024-0314, Merlin Ragland v. Spire. On June 26th, the Commission granted Spire's motion to dismiss and dismissed the complaint by order that became effective July 26th. On July 22nd, the complainant filed a timely application for rehearing. Again, in the judgment of the Commission, the application for rehearing does not demonstrate sufficient reason to rehear the matter. Therefore, the order before us denies the application for rehearing. With that, I recommend we approve the order version number 1. Commissioner Coleman.
I support the order.
Commissioner Holzman.
I'm in support of the order.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer.
I'm in support.
Commissioner Mitchell.
I support the order as well.
All those in favor of approving this order, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? By a vote of 5-0, that order is approved. I'm going to take tariff numbers 4 and 5 together today in file number WC-2024-0291, Marquette Bay v. KC Water, and file number GC-2024-0290, Marquette Bay v. Spire. Similarly, the Commission dismissed these complaints by orders that became effective on May 24th and July 20th, respectively. Those orders noted deadlines for an application for rehearing. In both of these cases, the complainant filed applications for rehearing that were out of time. Therefore, the Commission has no authority to accept and consider an untimely application for rehearing. Thus, the orders before us reject the applications for rehearing. With that, I recommend we approve the orders, version number 1. Commissioner Coleman,
I support the order.
Commissioner Holzman,
I support the order.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer,
I support the order.
and Commissioner Mitchell. All those in favor of approving those orders, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? By a vote of 5-0, those orders are approved. We turn to case discussion in file number EC-2023-0037, Missouri Coalition for Fair Competition and Corey Malone versus Union Electric DBA Ameren. Judge Sire.
Good afternoon, Chair Hahn, and good afternoon, Commissioners. The hearing in this matter took place on July 18th of this year, and last week the briefing period ended. And so earlier this week, I distributed a memorandum that laid out the issue the parties asked the Commission to decide, tried to summarize the evidence that was presented on that issue, and ended with questions for the Commission to guide me on how the Commission would like me to draft the decision in the case. So I'm here to answer any questions and listen to your feedback.
If you wouldn't mind walking us through the questions.
The first question was essentially whether the statute in question that is sometimes referred to as the Fair Competition Law that has to do with HVAC services, whether that statute applies to the two commission programs in question, the Community Savers Program and the PAYS program. And if it does not apply, is that determinative? If the statute does apply, the question is whether there was sufficient evidence to show that Ameren, Missouri violated that statute.
Thank you, Judge. In regard to the first question, I think Mr. Lowry laid it out very clearly in his opening argument that there is a clear exception in the law in Section 386, 756, sub 8, that excludes from the Fair Competition Law any program that is created pursuant to an existing tariff rule or order, both of which the Community Savers Program and the PAYS program fall under. And so when I asked the opposing counsel about it at the hearing, opposing counsel's argument was that you have to read the laws together, but I was not clear as to what had to be read together. So for that reason, I think there is a clear exception in the law, and so I would move to deny the complaint on that basis. Commissioner Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree also that there's an exception under the law, so I support your position.
Commissioner Holzman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would say that there wasn't sufficient evidence that Ameren had any wrongdoing, but I would suggest that every company needs to guard their logos and make sure that every, if someone believes that they're interacting with an Ameren employee that they are. So I support your position. Thanks.
Commissioner Kolkmeyer,
Thank you, Madam Chair. I support your position.
Commissioner Mitchell. Hold on. Closer.
Thank you. After hearing the testimony and then going back and studying that testimony, I failed to find a violation myself. Reminded that, multiple companies were invited to propose and they weren't excluded. So my only reservation again was similar to Commissioner Holzman's in in the use of the logo, but I don't think that in and of itself is grounds. So I support the chair's position as well.
Judge Sire, do you need anything further from us?
No, I believe that'll take care of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next case discussion item is in file number EO-2024-0194 in the matter of the application of Southway Storage for change of electric supplier from Empire District Electric, DBA Liberty, to White River Valley Electric Co-op. Judge Hatcher.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioners, this is a pre-hearing memo. The hearing will be in this room next Thursday, beginning at 10 a.m. And this memo summarizes the arguments of the parties as well as the issues that the parties presented for decision.
Commissioners, are there any questions? Seeing none. Thank you, Judge Hatcher.
Thank you.
And the final item today is in other discussion. We have a presentation from Spire, Missouri. We'd invite Spire to the podium, and we'll, I think you have a PowerPoint presentation, so we will get that loaded.
All right. Well, good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. Feeling a little triggered, like I'm doing opening statements, but this is a nice, and I guess it's not nice and different agenda room, but it's taking some use to. But it's good orientation for my president, Steve Mills, of what the hearing room's about and like, and I hope I'll never have to take him here. Or I'll be failing my job. So appreciate the time. Kind of, we're going to hit this off two ways. I'm going to address just a couple things on the policy front. Years of going to NARUC and Mark, like the commissioners, just wanted to hit on a couple things that I don't think is necessarily being discussed on a national level or even local. And then turn it over to my president, Steve Mills. We also have Julie Johnson with us. She's been with the company for 25 years. She's our manager of tariff and rates. So if Steve and I don't have the answers, I know she will. And then Larry Ployce is here for a free lunch later.
That checks out.
Okay. Policy discussions around natural gas. Let me get this clicker going. There we go. So, again, NARUC and Mark are good policy discussions, good conversations, good opinions coming from many jurisdictions and states. And something that, I'm always thinking about as I'm hearing these discussions is cost is talked about, but it's never really a focus. And as we talk about energy transition or other policy items, and so, that is very mindful to our customers and your constituents. Full disclosure on this from the Energy Information Administration that this is last winter. But you could see that compared to other fuel sources, natural gas is trending about $460 less expensive than other energy sources. And that's a lot. You know, that's a good Christmas for families in Missouri. We're hopeful that this will be the trend for this upcoming winter because natural gas prices are lower than they were last winter. So we're hoping that that trend continues. But, you know, price is a takeaway. Let's see, go to the next slide. So we hear energy transition. And a lot of that energy transition is talked about the environment and sustainability, which Spire is all about, the environment and sustainability. We've reduced our methane emissions by 50% since 2005. But I think this is another policy lapse or a discussion that's missed, is if you look at that picture of houses and cars and trucks, you see a little house with 6%. And that's the residential greenhouse gas emissions, and most of that is using natural gas. So propane's in there, wood's in there, so natural gas, greenhouse gas emissions is around 4 or 5% of total greenhouse gas emissions. You've got electric power, transportation, industry, and so we are a very low contributor when we're talking about residential greenhouse gas emissions, and 80-90% of our customers, our business, are residents. So, you know, that's, if we're truly talking about the environmental impacts, we're already the lowest in the sector. And that's only going to get lower as technologies and other things develop. You know, I know the electric power industry, it's at 25%. That's going to be reduced over time as well, but so is the natural gas industry. And one of the main reasons for those greenhouse gas emissions is, you know, I took a snapshot of MISO. You know, this is just a snapshot in time. 76% last week were of fossil fuels, and that's why, you know, using natural gas in your homes and the efficient and burning it there is such a low greenhouse gas emitter. Reliability is something that's talked more about on the generation side, but, you know, natural gas, our infrastructure is buried. We are the most reliable energy source in the country. If we're fortunate, or maybe unfortunate, to live to 99, you might lose service in natural gas once in that lifetime, where other fuel sources average about every year. So a very reliable product. And then, you know, we're the fuel of choice. You do not have to have natural gas, but time after time, Missourians and our customers are picking that. With new permitting, we see 85% folks selecting natural gas when they're building new homes. And this ticks the box with the national average as well. There's a new natural gas customer every minute. So folks are enjoying our product. And kind of in closing with this policy, when we're seeing policies that are talking about or maybe forcing people to go to products that are more expensive, worse for the environment, and less reliable, I just scratch my head and I kind of want to stand up during some of these policy debates because these basic facts aren't being talked about. So that's my natural gas commercial, and just wanted to add some balance as you guys are engaging in policy discussions, you know, at Mark and NARUC. And now I will turn it over to Steve Mills, our Spire, Missouri president. If you're really bad, you have to sit over there, Steve. So this is an okay spot.
Okay. Thanks, Scott. Chair, commissioners, appreciate the opportunity to be here, talk a little bit about Spire. But before we get started, it is on the record that if I have to come to this room again, that Scott didn't do his job. So we do have that on the record. I just want to make sure that that's on the record. So, Larry, He's just here for lunch, so he's just hanging out. Now, want to talk a little bit about Spire as a company. A lot of this you may already know, but there are some things you may not know. But talk a little bit more about really who we are as a company. I'd say first to start off is we are a gas company and a gas company only. We're not a combo company. We are just a gas distribution company. We have several gas companies across 3 states, Missouri, Mississippi, and Alabama. But we are the largest gas distribution company within Missouri. We have about 1,200 customers, or just 1,200, 1.2 million customers, about 2,400 employees. About 2/3 of our employees are in the state of Missouri, and we are headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri. We invest about $500 million in capital investment within the state. And at the end of the day, you know, we're focused on safe and, you know, Scott talked about being reliable service. And also, and I'll talk a little bit about it in a little bit, community development and growth as well. Flipping to the next slide, really what we do is what I just talked about, but who we are and what really defines us is really our values. And our values are the foundation of our culture and who we are as a company. And it starts and ends with the first one, and that is safety. And everything that we do starts and it ends just with that. I would say we have and pride ourselves in having a strong reporting culture as far as safety is concerned. We drive millions of miles every single year. Obviously, we work in gaseous atmospheres. The work that we do is dangerous. And we can talk about serving customers and community and all that, but we have to do that safely. And it starts and ends with that. And when I talk about a strong reporting culture, when we talk about reporting like at-fault MVAs, our employees will come back and report a minor scratch from a tree limb. And yeah, there's some administrative work with all that, but it's a good thing because we want folks to say if there's been any sort of incident to let us know, and then we can take action. Maybe there's some action that we can take to improve a process or what have you, but that's very, very important to us to prevent future incidences, you know, into the future. Inclusion is a very strong value that we have as well. Not only inclusion internally with our employees and making sure that every voice is heard, but thinking about our customers, thinking about our communities, making sure that we're inclusive of them as well and what we want to hear from everyone. Integrity, obviously, is one that can't be compromised, and everyone that we have, as far as from an employee standpoint, has to have a high level of an integrity, or they can't work for us. And drive, we want to ensure that our employees are enabled to finish things to the very end, and we want our employees to have that drive to complete tasks, to complete what they need to complete in order to drive to the end. One thing that we're really proud of is the next bullet point is we were named one of Newsweek's most responsible companies, and this has been the 5th year in a row this particular year. And really this Newsweek scores companies based on their commitment to the environment, social issues, as well as corporate governance. We're one of only 6 companies in the state of Missouri that achieved this honor. You know, several thousand companies are evaluating. We're one of 6 companies in Missouri. So that's something that we're very proud of. You know, another thing that we're very proud of at Spire, who helps define who we are, again, what we do, folks know about, but who we are is very important to us. And one of the things is our community, things that we do in the community. We have, for all of our employees, are given eight hours of paid time, what we call Day for Good. And that's for employees to go out and do some good in the community. And some of them do it individually. They have a particular charity or nonprofit organization that they want to support, tutor at a school or what have you. We pay for you to go do some good in the community. But we also do a lot of things where teams get together and go out and do some. You're seeing a picture of someone who's planting trees, and that was with a team of folks that went out and did some work there. We logged over 14,000 hours last year of folks that reported their time that they took off to go do this work. Logged over 14,000 hours last year, and this was folks that just reported it or logged it. There's others that just they'll go do it and won't necessarily log their time or go do it after hours after work, but they're doing that and showing up in the community. It was interesting. I had a conversation with Mayor in St. Louis, Mayor Tashar Jones, about 3 or 4 months ago, and I always ask when I'm meeting folks, and this is when I met her for the first time, and I asked her, I said, when you think of Spire, what do you think about? And you always kind of brace yourself a little bit because you never know what you're going to get, and you hear everything, and I want to hear everything, and I qualified it. I said, besides your bill. I said, you can't, because that's usually the first thing someone says. I said, besides your bill. And she said, she kind of sat back. She said, you know what? It's the work you do in the community. And that wasn't prompt anything. And I kind of sat back and said, tell me a little bit more. And she was, I either hear or I see you all in the community doing good. And she named a few examples. And I thought that was pretty profound coming from her, because she could have said a lot of different things, but that's what she led with. So again, that's something that we take pride in, and something that will continue. We are focused on operational excellence, and this is something that, since our new CEO, Steve Lindsay, came into office in October, November last year, he's really focused on, and it's permeated throughout the organization. We have new leadership with Steve, Scott Doyle, who's our COO, and then me. I've been in this role 1 year, and we're have a refreshed focus on back to the basics. And what back to the basics means, I always like to take a step back and say, for the past 7 years, and actually September 25th of this month is our 7-year anniversary of being Spire. And so we combined all the companies and became Spire. Well, with that, we recognized some synergies. We standardized practices, had to build the brand so folks recognized who we were. And now we're beginning to leverage that and execute on the synergies that we've obtained, the standardized practices that we've implemented, and now we're executing and want to do that in excellence. Really, when you look at operational excellence, I think about it, it's really having a continuous improvement culture where we're invested in positive customer outcomes and empowering all of our employees to implement change. And there's been a push, especially the past year since we focused on this, is really what are some of the things that we can stop doing and that really may not be customer focused. So everything that we want to do should have a customer focus. So if we're in a meeting and we're talking about changing this or switching that, someone in the room should say and does say, what about the customer? Because if it's not benefiting the customer, it may make the practice efficient for us. It may make it more convenient for us. But if it's not benefiting the customer, we shouldn't be doing it. So that's what kind of the focus is from here on out going forward. So I have a few things up there about continuous improvement. And it's really just striving to improve in all that we do. You know, serving our customers even better through customer feedback. You know, we receive feedback from our customers through surveys that we put out for our interactions that we have with our customers. We submit a survey to them, and we get some feedback from them, and you know, some good, and to be honest, there's things that, hey, we need to improve on. But those are the things that we can take action on, and those are our customers. We sit in rooms, and those are our customers talking to us about an interaction that they had with us. And we've changed some practices, some communication practices recently as a result of some of the customers who have submitted some of this work on, or submitted some of this information through a survey. So that's something that we are very honed in on, and we'll continue to do that as well. And this is the last slide, but just want to talk a little bit about kind of challenges and opportunities, you know, for the company going forward in Missouri. And one, I'd say customer needs, customer wants. It's serving both sides of the state in the largest metropolitan/urban areas. So think about the St. Louis metropolitan area and the Kansas City metropolitan area. We're serving both of them on both sides of the states with through our 2,400 employees in the state of Missouri. Unlike our electric counterparts on both who have on both sides of the state, they're on both sides of the state. So you have one on the west side of the state and another company on the east side of the state. We're supporting both sides of the state. So that can be a challenge. That can be a challenge sometimes. But it's I think, a good attribute towards our employees that are able to serve our customers and serve them well. Again, talked about size differential a little bit. You know, we're approximately a third the size of other utilities in the state, serving the same amount of customers, and that can be a challenge sometimes. You know, we're a third of the revenue, third of the employees, but again, you know, I believe we serve them just as effectively, you know, as our other utility counterparts. Another challenge is our recent S&P downgrade. That creates some challenges, and they noted, you know, the extreme warm weather we had the past couple winters, the higher financing costs, you know, through inflation. We've all saw higher mortgage rates, higher rates for everything, and that affects our financing costs, and we want to finance our capital investments. So it affects us, and we've had to take some action this year where we had a voluntary early retirement program, and also we had to do some restructuring and actually some reduction in force. So that's things that we had to do to kind of right size and adjust according to some of the things that we can't necessarily control, where we had to move to some of the things that we can control, and we did just that, and we're adjusting just fine. Opportunities, again, I talked about the new leadership and kind of refreshing or refocusing on the operational excellence. Tools and analytics, and being able to identify how to best engage and serve our customers. Talked about that a little bit. And the last one, and I'd say very important, is continued dialogue, whether it's on ongoing dialogue with you all, consumer advocates, and I also add in our employees, as well as our customers. I think that's very, very important. One of the things that we really focus in on and really preach is transparency. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, just being transparent and focusing on if there's an issue, if there's good, bad, or whatever it may be, but to resolve the issue and be transparent throughout the whole process so there's no surprises. So that's really it that I had, and just, again, appreciate the opportunity to share, but wanted to, kind of the last slide was just, we'd love to have the opportunity to have you all out and show you a little bit more about Spire, whether it's a site visit to some of a lot of the pipeline upgrade work that we're doing, storage facility, gas control. You know, I'm always amazed by, I get a picture probably and not over exaggerating, once a month for our folks out in the field that are replacing pipe in the ground, and just seeing the going from new plastic pipe to old, whether it's bare steel or old cast iron, and to see the upgrade in infrastructure and how the impact that that's having, because the what's in the ground that we're replacing is very old and needs to be replaced. And they're always showing me pictures of just stuff that was put in the ground decades ago. So anyway, I'll stop there. Any questions, comments? Good take.
Any questions from commissioners? Seeing none.
All right. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, appreciate it.
We do have quite the scheduling docket today, so with that, we'll go to scheduling. Next week, Tuesday, September 10th through Wednesday, September 11th, we have local public hearings in case GR-2024-0106 in the matter of the request of Liberty to implement a general rate increase for natural gas service. Those hearings are Tuesday, September 10th at 6 p.m. at the Kennett City Hall, Wednesday, September 11th at 12 p.m. at the Sykeston City Hall, and Wednesday, September 11th, 6 p.m. at the Cape Girardeau Public Library. Also, on Wednesday, September 11th, we have agenda at 10:15 a.m. Thursday, September 12th, we have the evidentiary hearing in the case we had case discussion on today, and the change of electric supplier, Southway Storage for change of supplier from Liberty to White River. Monday, September 16th through Friday, September 27th, we have a series of local public hearings in case WR-2024-0104 in the matter of the request of Liberty Utilities, Missouri Water, for authority to implement a general rate increase for water and wastewater. Those hearings are Monday, September 16th, 6 p.m. at the Pacific City Hall. Tuesday, September 17th at 6 p.m., WebEx only. Thursday, September 19th, 12 p.m. at the American Legion Hall in Bolivar. Also, same day, Thursday, September 19th, 6 p.m., also at the American Legion Hall in Bolivar. Tuesday, September 24th, 12 p.m. at the Washington County Library in Potosi. Wednesday, September 25th, 6 p.m. at the City Hall in Branson. Thursday, September 26th, 6 p.m. at the Osage Center in Cape Girardeau. And Friday, September 27th at noon, WebEx only. We also have agenda Thursday, September 19th at 10:15 a.m. Friday, September 20th, we have a local public hearing in case EA-2024-0237 in the matter of the application of Ameren, Missouri for permission and approval and certificates of public convenience and necessity, authorizing it to construct a simple cycle natural gas generation facility, WebEx only at 12 noon with Judge Fuel. And Wednesday, September 25th, we have agenda at 10:15 a.m. Commissioners, are there any changes or modifications to the schedule? Seeing none, any other business before the commission?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I would
Commissioner
just like to
Holzman.
say, go Chiefs.
Any other business? Seeing none, we're adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair.